In the second video, we're going to walk through the male anatomy. And so you should have access to a diagram. You can find these anywhere as well. But we're going to focus mostly on everything kind of from the scrotum up, the epididymis, the vas deferens, the urethral process, the penis, and all of that from a reproductive standpoint. So let's start with the scrotum itself and discuss how it's structured and function. It's the muscular sac that houses the testes and is very important from a thermoregulation standpoint in terms of making sure the testes maintain a relatively constant temperature for spermatogenesis. The testes themselves are the primary sex organ and are responsible for sperm production or spermatogenesis and testosterone production and the regulation of that. Next, we have the epididymis, and that is there's the three parts of the epididymis, and that's what's carrying the sperm from the testicle to the vas deferens. And as it goes through all the various parts of the epididymis, maturation of those sperm cells happens as they go from one end to the other. And the vas deferens is where the mature sperm that will be carried from the epididymis to the urethra during ejaculation. So as sperm cells are developed through spermatogenesis in the testes, their maturation is going to continue as they travel through the epididymis until they get to the vas deferens. That's where we have the mature sperm cell. And so when a ram or a buck is breeding a female and ejaculates, the vas deferens is what's carrying that sperm to the urethra during that process. The spermatic cord is basically holding the testes to the body cavity, and those are also a key part in thermoregulation, in that if it is cold outside, those will constrict, pulling the scrotum itself and the testes back up towards the body cavity to keep them warm. If it's hot, you will see it suspend down and to get more airflow to drop the temperature. The seminal vesicles, that's what's adding the fluids and nutrients for the sperm cells to the semen to ensure survivability and allowing the sperm cells to survive long enough to impregnate the egg. The prostate gland, that's what produces the alkaline secretion that raises the pH of the ejaculate. It's what produces the odor as well. There's buffers in there, but that's what's trying to protect those sperm cells by maintaining an ideal pH. And so that's what is coming. So we've got stuff coming in from the seminal vesicles, from the prostate gland, all trying to ensure survivability of those sperm cells. The bulbourethral gland is what makes the thick mucus that assists with lubrication during the mating process. The urethra itself is a joint excretory canal for both urine and semen, and so it has two functions. The penis itself, that is what the organ that is directly depositing semen into the female repro tract. And remember that the ram penis from our breeding soundness exam does have the extension on the end of it that allows them to try to lift the flap of skin that's over the cervix of the ewe. And so it's important to understand the anatomy. The sheath is what covers and protects. It's the external component of where the penis is housed. It's also called the prepuce. If we see something like pizzle rot, that's where we're going to see it, is on that fold of skin that surrounds the free end. And it is important during breeding soundness exams that we check the sheath to ensure the ram or buck is free of pizzle rot. Because a lot of times they may leak a little bit of uric acid, basically, or urine, and it can kind of burn that skin in there, causing some sores and some inflammation, which will make it hard for the ram or buck to ejaculate. So you always want to make sure you check that during the breeding soundness exam. All right, we're going to drop this section right here, and we're going to come back around and pick up the semen evaluation process, which we've done a little bit already with our breeding soundness exam activity, but we're going to review it as a lecture item.